Thank you all for being here. These are serious times, and this is a very serious matter. And I've said many times over the last few years, because impeachment has been an issue that we've all become all too familiar with, that next to the declaration of war, you can make an argument that impeachment may be the heaviest power that Congress holds. That constitutional responsibility lies with the House. We have a duty to pursue the facts where they lead. John Adams famously said, "Facts are stubborn things," and you heard a recitation of that here this morning. These facts are alarming. They're alarming to the American people. They are alarming to us. And so while we take no pleasure in the proceedings here, we have a responsibility to do it. We're very proud of the work of these three chairmen that you've seen here, Chairman Comer and Jordan and Smith. They've done an exceptional job in uncovering the obvious corruption. And you've heard it here summarized this morning very succinctly. President Biden and the Biden family. We owe it to the American people to continue this process, but to do it methodically and transparently. Many of you know I'm a lawyer, I'm a constitutional law attorney. I served on President Trump's impeachment defense team twice. And we lamented openly and we decried how the Democrats politicized that process. They were brazenly political in how they brought those meritless impeachment charges against the president. What you're seeing here, is exactly the opposite. We are the rule of law team. The Republican Party stands for the rule of law. And the people in charge of this are doing this thoroughly, carefully, methodically. They're investigating and gathering all the facts. And to do this appropriately and to do it in a manner that upholds our constitutional responsibility requires time. It requires a sound process. You don't rush something like this. You can't if you're going to have fidelity to the Constitution. These chairmen are committed to proceeding in that manner. And that's what you're seeing. We've heard from whistleblowers, Biden business associates, legal experts, and now we have reached the point in the investigation that we need to hear from a handful of really key witnesses in this. The chairmen have issued a few dozen subpoenas, and we expect that those are to be complied with in an expeditious manner. We're not prejudging this. We will follow the facts wherever they lead. Again, that's our constitutional duty. And I fully support our chairman and their efforts, and we'll have a lot more to share on this in the days ahead. We'll take a few questions if you want to do that. Manu, front.
There's also going to be a vote on the House floor tomorrow to expel one of your members, George Santos. You have not said if you support this. Do you support expelling George Santos?
I'll say this. We had a Republican conference meeting in the last hour. There were opinions shared on both sides. I'll answer it this way, Manu. Listen. I said that the Republican Party is the rule of law team, and we are. We believe in the rule of law. There are people of good faith who make an argument, both pro and con, for the expulsion resolution for Santos. There are people who say you have to uphold the rule of law and allow for someone to be convicted in a criminal court before this tough penalty would be exacted on someone. That's been the precedent so far. There are others who say, well, upholding the rule of law requires us to take this step now because some of the things that he's alleged to have done, the House Ethics Committee having done their job, are infractions against the House itself. And so what we've said as the leadership team is we're going to allow people to vote their conscience. I think it's the only appropriate thing we can do. We've not whipped the vote, and we wouldn't. I trust that people will make that decision thoughtfully and in good faith. I personally have real reservations about doing this. I'm concerned about a precedent that may be set for that. So where everybody's working through that, and we'll see how they vote tomorrow. Yep. In front row, and then I'll go here. Yep.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
There are complicated negotiations underway over supplementals. Supplementals. You'll be meeting with Senate Republicans later today. Many questions we could ask, but I want to ask first, do you believe there should be conditions on any aid for Israel? And then what are your priorities or any red lines for border security in Israel?
Yeah, there's a lot of very deliberate negotiations that have been going on the supplemental, and that happened all the way throughout the Thanksgiving holidays, and it's gone on in earnest, and it will today. I'm going to go visit our Senate Republican colleagues at their steering lunch in a couple of hours, and we'll be talking about that in detail. I'm not going to give you a lot of that detail today because some of those negotiations are going on. I'll tell you with regard to Israel, the House did our job. We passed a bipartisan support package, $14.5 billion, which is exactly what was requested, and we sent it over to the Senate, and it's been sitting on Chuck Schumer's desk. If they really believe in that priority, they'll take care of it. We added a pay-for, as you all know, and it shocked the system of Washington. We're trying to get back to this fundamental principle of fiscal responsibility. I don't want, and I don't think we should, go and borrow money from some other country to help one of our allies. I think we can take care of our responsibilities, but do it in a responsible manner. And we're trying to reintroduce the idea of fiscal responsibility here. Let me remind everybody here, we have a $33.7 trillion federal debt, I think is the latest figure. If you pull up U.S. debt clock on your smartphone, you can't even follow the debt with a naked eye. It goes up so quickly. Moody's has downgraded our credit rating. The Treasury Department announced a few weeks ago that we have to borrow $1.5 trillion over the next 2 quarters to keep the government in operation. We are not on a sustainable trajectory with regard to spending. And so part of the negotiations on the supplemental, part of the negotiations on the remaining appropriations bills, and everything that's on our plate is viewed by us through that lens, that we have to restore this idea of fiscal sanity. And so we're pressing that matter. With regard to red lines, we believe that the border must be secured. And the vast majority of the people in this country agree with us wholeheartedly. And when we all went home for Thanksgiving and met with constituents and friends and family and had dinner, as you all did, this was a big topic of discussion because people are deeply concerned about their safety and security and all the things, all the societal ills that happen at the border. So that is a top priority for us in all these negotiations to get that secured, and we need policy changes, not just further funding to process people. So you're going to see that as a continuing theme, and I'll leave it there for now. Hang on just a second. Let me go to the back. Let me go to the back. Yes, yeah.
The official act that was corrupt that Republicans are alleging today was that when he was vice president, Joe Biden pushed for the firing of the Ukrainian prosecutor. And this was the subject of the impeachment of Donald Trump. And you had a lot of State Department officials who came in and said, this wasn't Joe Biden's policy, this was our policy. He didn't do this to benefit his son. He did this because we wanted him to do it. So did they all commit perjury, or are you going to bring them back for more interviews? Why are Republicans just ignoring all that testimony?
No one's ignoring testimony. Let me tell you the top 4 pieces of evidence with regard to the Biden. I just got bullet points here. From 2014 to 2019, Biden family members and their affiliate companies received over $15 million from foreign companies and foreign nationals. These are all facts. Facts are stubborn things. That included Ukraine, Russia, Kazakhstan, Romania, and China. Biden business associates received an additional $9 million. The chairman here have uncovered a lot of facts. President Biden has, of course, lied at least 16 times about his involvement in his family's business schemes. There are at least 22 examples of Joe Biden speaking with or meeting with Hunter Biden's foreign business associates. The Oversight Committee recently released 2 checks. You see the graphics up here today. These checks are to Joe Biden. One is for $40,000 from China, and another is for $200,000 from a now bankrupt healthcare company that his brother James Biden apparently swindled. Listen, this investigation has to continue because, again, as we said, those facts are stubborn things. I'm not going to answer outside questions about this. We let the facts speak for themselves, and I think you're going to see a lot more developments over that in the days ahead. That was our last question. I appreciate it.